there will be some overlap, but it's more in that. Okay. And we also have another module on crypto, okay, cryptography and so on. Okay, it's more in-depth discussion. Okay. So maybe let me describe some of the module here in case you are interested, right? After you have done this part, you found that there's a lot of cryptography, but you not go in depth, especially the construction. So equation can be done, describe the way to do equation, just describe the functionality of this equation, but do not go into depth of how the equation is carried out. Okay, so you can learn more about that in the crypto module, and more advanced primitive, like maybe you have heard of homomorphic equations and so on. Okay, and there is a module on software security. Okay, so later part of the module is on secure programming. Okay, talking about implementation flaw that lead to security vulnerabilities. Okay, so then how do we protect that? Okay, so software security is more in depth on that, and we have after we have done the CTF assignments, okay, we have two modules of a similar nature. Okay, one is lab-based. Okay, so this about set up a virtual environment. So then the student will try to, you can say, hack or compromise the machine and learn how to handle it in a virtual environment. Okay, and using VM. And this one is very popular. Okay, but priority is given to the InfoSec student. Okay, instead of doing the hacking in the virtual environment, we do it on the real system. Okay, so the student will form groups. Okay, let's say a group of 4. Each of them will be led by a consultant from the pen testing company, like right now we have it Deloitte to help us. Okay, and then you will conduct pen testing on end-US system. Okay, okay. So Luminous, of course, Luminous we help them to pen test. Okay, and there are many end-US systems. So okay, it's very fun. Okay, you may able to make people cry. Okay. If you found something, the person who developed the system will be very angry. Okay. So there will be a presentation, and hereby declare your system not secure. So then he may fight back. Okay. So the pen testing, what is the difference between these two? Is that this one is a real world. Real system tends to be not interesting. Okay, you cannot find very interesting attacks, vulnerabilities. Okay. This one is virtual. Okay, we can set up systems that have many interesting vulnerability, right? But doesn't really happen, rarely happen in the real life. Okay, so for this one, the focus is more on the workflow. Okay, how to scope the system and how to convey your finding to the user. Okay, that's why we have consultant for the industry to lead to help to lead the team, okay, to do it. Okay. And there will be not by CS by Vista a few modules, okay, on the soft aspect, okay, like how to InfoSec management. Later on, you after this, okay, the way I describe this module, this CS module and IS module is this. After you have done this module, and many of these modules, okay, many of the CS module, you will see that, oh, okay, it's doomed. Okay, everything is not secure. Okay, everything can be hacked. Okay, so we should go back to Stone Age. Okay, no more computer, use paper. Okay, so this may be the conclusion you have after you have taken many CS modules. Okay, but then the issue is, it's not about, oh, it's not secure, then we go back. Okay, it's how to manage the risk. How to manage the risk, how to manage the security. Okay, so there is management aspect of insecurity. Right? Okay, so those are covered in the IS module. And there's also one interesting module is this one. Okay, we get a lawyer. Okay, previously was a law professor. Okay, to come here to teach about legal aspect of information security. So I heard about PDPA, okay, the privacy, and why we need this. You imagine, okay. So let myself as an example. I run a lab called National Cyber Security R&D Lab. Okay, we handle the client our researcher data. So when I handle the data, when the user comes, I have to craft the usage policy. Okay, am I a lawyer? Okay, this usage policy is a contract. Okay, besides it's a legal document. I'm not a lawyer. I don't draft it. So I will go to Office of Legal Affairs. Okay, in NUS, affair can be legal. Okay, so it's called Office of Legal Affairs. Okay, so I have to talk to the lawyer. Okay, describing what I need, and then they advise me what to write, and then they craft the legal document. So this module is not train you to be a lawyer, but train you to be someone later on you may want to interact. You are well versed in the articulate in the terminology, and then you can interact. Right? Okay. And so on and so on. Okay. Okay. And okay, what is the schedule? Or schedule if you have. So it's CS2107. This is what is described in the web page. And the outcome is basically I treat this as something that most CS students should know, okay, about security. Okay, so I teach you some notion. Okay, for example, one example I always use is that your grandfather, okay, what they may tell you, as you say that there is something pop up, okay. Pop up on the web server, you browsing pop up, certificate not valid. Do you understand the risk? Do you want to carry on? Okay, or you go to the website, then something pop up, say that the Microsoft or Google feel that this site is not secure or whatever. Okay, then he will panic, and then when he panic, he remember who? Remember you. Okay. Get into this program, okay, and your father pay you a lot, pay the school fee very expensive, right? Boy or uncle, okay, I got this. What happened? Should I go on or not? Then you say, I don't know. You say you don't know? Then why I want to pay you to come to NUS, right? Okay, yeah. So for you, okay, these are the more okay. So we have all CS students should at some point should know that. When you go web browser, something pop up, certificate not valid, do you want to continue? Most of us will click yes, right? So you should understand what is the risk when you click yes. Okay, so that is one outcome. So that is aware of common and well-known tests. Okay, and of course then understanding of basic mechanism and concept. And a common pitfall in implementations. After you graduated, you may not call yourself a security professional, but you could be a software engineer, right? So software engineer, when you're implementing, when you write a program has to be correct, efficient, and so on. But it has to be secure also. That's why there comes the notion of secure programming. I know that there are some organizations, there's a people who wrote the code. After the code is done, passed to another person to vet the code for vulnerabilities. Okay, vulnerabilities. Okay. So we have some understanding of what is secure programming. Fine? Okay. And who should take it? Okay, as I said, student who I hope any student in CS department and someone who want to go for in-depth studies. Okay. This terminology you may see in the this module. I group it to two groups. Okay, we'll see this later. But there are two groups. Roughly is this that the first group over here is about what I call communication and network security. Okay, so you have a thing like phishing attacks, passwords, you have to lock in, encryption, and so on. How do you protect data? Okay. And second part is what we call system security. Okay. How do we make sure that system perform as expected? It did not do anything funny. Okay. First one, in some sense, is about protecting data. Second one is protecting system, the workflow. Okay, or I call it execution integrity. Okay. It's roughly organized in this way. As you can see, first part is all about network and communication security. Second part is more on the system security. Okay. There's a midterm here. Okay, midterm here. And I put a question mark because I'm checking the value, see whether it's a large size. Okay. And the midterm will be conducted during lectures. Okay, but not in this place. Okay, very likely it's a sport hall. Okay, exchange student, please remember, go to a sport hall. Okay, so and the time will probably be 1 hour and 15 minutes, so we have a time for you to travel there and travel there. Okay, right? So it could be on week 7 or week 8, depending on availability of the hall. Fine. Okay, take note. Okay, there's no retest. Okay, no retest. And at the end, you typically we will have one guest. Okay, let me describe what is this one first. Reserve means that very often we will not finish it in time. Then this is a buffer. Okay, buffer. Okay, and the last lecture. Very often I will get a guest lecturer to come here to give a talk. Okay? So last year I asked my Adrian Tan, okay, who is vice chairman of Singapore Law Society, to come here to give a talk, okay, on legal aspect. And previous year, someone from DSO, Defense Science Organization, come here to talk about hardware security, talking about his fancy equipment, who can look into the chip, okay, to get a key, secret key from the chip. Okay. And this year, I don't remember who I asked. I think it's someone from CSA. Okay, okay, I'll let you know later. Fine. Okay. Any question about admin? Any questions? Okay, if not, we start the lectures. For lecture 1, you can see lecture 1 is very long, we will not complete it. Okay, we will probably cover half of the lecture 1. First, what is a computer and information security? Okay, we know that system may fail. Okay, system will crash. You run the game, halfway the game crash. You do a online browsing halfway, then somehow the website just crash. Okay, so and okay, everyone know about it will crash. Okay, so it's crash is due to many reasons. Okay, one is a hardware failure. The other one is a bug in the implementation. It's a bug in the implementation did not consider certain special cases. The famous one is a year 2000 bug. Okay, oh, have you heard of year 2000 bug? Yes, okay. Yes, you seem to be. It was in my class before, right? No, okay. Yeah, I remember that. There's someone who looked. Okay. No worries. Some look familiar. Okay. So Correct. Okay. Year 2000 bug is the year overrule. When before year 2000, when the programmer programs, they want to represent a year, they use only the last two digits. Okay, so like 83, 84, 85, then 91, 92, and so on. Okay, and they think it's okay because they do not expect their program will stay there for 20 years, right? So they wrote the programs, the program is there, the program, okay, at that time everything is very expensive, even 2 bytes is very expensive, so they want to save the memory, so they use 2 digit instead of 4 digit to represent the year. Okay, and later on, at the near year 99, then you have problem already. Because if you go to year 2000, from 99, the next year will be 00. So if you want to compute the interest rate from the year 2000 and year 99, that will be minus 99. Okay? So because the representation become 00 and this one is 99. In the program, you may take this year, subtract the last year, right? So you take 00 minus 99, instead of getting 1, you get minus 99. Okay, so this caused a lot of problem and system may crash. System crash. Okay, so another interesting question, I think example, I think it's a B-2 bomber or whatever, forgot which one, advanced US fighter or aircraft. Okay, when they fly from the US to Hawaii because they're based, they have to fly to Japan. Okay, cross the time zone. When they cross the time zone, similar thing happen. Is calculate the time, become negative, and the onboard computer crash while flying. Yeah, okay, so okay, but the plane didn't crash. Okay, it's just a software crash. Okay. So these are bugs. These are bugs. These are bugs. Okay. There are many bugs. Okay. You have wrote program already. You know that there are many bugs. A lot of bugs didn't appear. They only appear when the special circumstances arise. Right? You write a bug. You run it. You test it. The program. You have a program. You test it. You have a bug, but when you test it, you didn't catch it. And when you run for a few years, it's still fine because the special circumstances didn't appear, okay, in real life. Okay. The computer security, we look at this type of failure where the failure is intentionally injected by a human. Okay. So the program had bug. If we suppose that, okay, that's just assuming you wrote a program where the input is contained all 0 followed by ABC, then it will crash, for example. Okay, then normally there are no people whose name is 0 followed by ABC. Okay, you read in the field, say the names, then it's 0 ABC, but then the attacker, okay, intentionally he know about this bug, he tests it, he know about this bug, then he key in all 0 and ABC and crash the computer. Right? Other well-known example is an ATM, there's a particular sequence, then you reboot. When you reboot, then you go back to the system admin mode, then you can change whatever you want. Okay, so that is a bug. Okay, if you key wrongly, key in some sequence, the thing crash, then you go to the system admin mode. Okay, so this normally will not occur. This is the bug, but when you test it and you come into a normal operation, it will not occur because it's very rare of that particular sequence being keyed by a user. Okay, but if an attacker know about it, they can craft the input, key in, and then it crash. Okay, so for very simply stated is that computer security is about this. Okay, we want to handle failure that is intentionally crafted by a human. Okay, there's a human there who purposely want to crash your system. Okay, so yeah, okay, distributed action. So why important? Okay, it's very important because human nature. Okay, when you design a system, someone always there are people who all try to benefit from it. Okay, and then there is a report. Okay, very useful report is a Symantec Internet Security Threat Report. Okay, so there are some marketing component here by Symantec, but so far I think most of the threat report, this one is a very good one. Okay, so every year Symantec will do a summary, okay, of what they know, what on the trend of attacks in the past year. Okay, this one is a 2018, and I also put in I add a new slide on 2019. Okay, 2019, and over here I put the word read. Okay, under my terminology, when I say read, means you read it. Okay, you go click and read it. Okay. Well, sometimes I have something called SEE, S-E-E. That means that for optional. Okay, so you want to know about it. Okay, and sometimes there's no read and no see. Then this is just for references. That means that when I take a pictures from somewhere, or I make a statement, copy from somewhere, is I should put in a reference to telling you where I can get this from. Okay, so without C and optional is just stating there, just state the source of the material, and if there's read, you have to read. C is optional. So take a look on this. Okay, like this one, they talk about Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin, that means that Bitcoin mining attacker hack the system to the attacker hack the system so as to run the Bitcoin mining. Okay, so as to gain the financial gain. Okay, so this is also called as cryptojacking. Then this in 2018, they say, oh, there's a lot. 2019, they say there's not, there's very few of them. Okay, yeah. So this is the trend. But there's one thing is very consistent throughout, is a word called targeted attacks and the word phishing attacks. Okay, phishing attacks, the phishing, email phishing. We'll talk about it later, but I believe everyone know what is email phishing, right? Okay, and NUS did conduct phishing exercise on us. Okay, they'll send email to us and see who click it. Okay, so phishing attacks is a very low-tech attacks which cause software social engineering. You look at the trend, they are always listed as the most effective method for attacker to gain a foothold or bridgehead in organizations. Okay, attacker want to hack, compromise, target organizations. They have to bypass a firewall and so on, very complicated. They have to gain at least a foothold or bridgeheads. Okay, get the account there first. How to get the account? The easiest one is phishing attacks. Okay, and later on we'll talk about it. Example like the Singtel case, Bangladesh Bank, central bank get hacked. I think more than 80 millions. Just go. Okay, yeah. I think that is a record for in the attack security history. Okay, I think it's, that particular incident. Okay, all started with phishing email. Okay. So when we talk about articulate about security, you discuss with people with security, you want to explain to other people your system is secure. The word secure appear many times. Okay, many times, and the term in different contexts it means different things and is oftenly abused. Okay, the word secure. Right, and you go to the website, they say I want to sell you a secure system. This will secure your mobile phone, and it's a cloud-based method. Okay, so and then you ask when you say secure my mobile phone or secure my okay, there's something called customer relation software. Means basically they manage all the contacts in the phone. Okay, organization like insurance company have many contacts, right? Okay, so they have to maintain the contact. This contact is an asset. Okay, so there's something called a customer relationship management (CRM) software. So there are people who say, okay, I give you a secure solution for CRM will protect your contact list. Okay, contact list. Then the question is so secure that then you ask the question, what do you mean by secure CRM, right? Do you mean that my employee after they left the company still unable to access the contact list? Or when you say that if someone drop the mobile phone and not pick it up, still unable to get a contact list, or what? Okay, so there are many different meaning. Okay, so so we need more precise definition of what we mean by secure. And very often we use this method called CIA triad. CIA triad. So this we believe that the security can broadly divided to three types. Okay. First is about confidentiality. Okay. Second is about integrity, and third one is about availabilities. Okay. What is confidentiality? Okay. Okay. Confidentiality is about the information of your secret is not being leaked out. Okay, it's about information. Okay, the information being not leaked to somebody else. Okay, so so for example, Sheldon he leaked classified NSA information. Sheldon, if you do not know him, please Google about him. Okay, it's a very important name. Okay, it's an incident. Okay, which well-known incident, which you should heard about it at least. Okay, he leaked NSA. NSA is National Secrecy Agency, National Security Agency, not in Singapore, US. They are the spy. Okay, okay. So they leaked the NSA informations, and then from NSA point of view, this is a breach of confidentiality. Okay, important information is leaked out. Okay. Then, example, a student hacked into our system. Then, after he hacked into our system, our Luminous or whatever, then he's able to get the student grade. Okay, for example, the student somehow managed to get my password, get into my account, then he can see your other student grade. Okay, so this is a compromise of confidentiality because information of the student being leaked out. Okay, the integrity is something different. Okay, integrity is about modification of information or processes. Okay, so in this case, one example is same example is the student who hacked into my account. He can see the student grade, right? This is a confidentiality compromise. The student also what? Also modify the grade. He modified the grade. The information being modified. Okay, so this is a compromise of integrity. Okay. Or someone hacked to the server, change the programs, make some changes to the OS, then the execution, okay, the process is being hacked, is being compromised. So it's the integrity of the process. Right. Okay. So then another example, the student stole the password. The confidentiality of password is compromised. After you have the password, you can log in and modify things. Then integrity is compromised. Fine. Okay. So these are two broad classification of requirement. Okay. The third one is availabilities. Okay. Famous example: you take a chewing gum stick to the MRT door, so the MRT cannot close. Okay. Yeah. So this is the vulnerability of the MRT. So the control that we implement to prevent this is what? The Singapore government way to prevent these attacks is to ban chewing gum. so there's no sale of chewing gum in Singapore because there are a lot of some people stick it to the MRT door. Oh no, I'm not joking. This is true. Okay, when we first had the MRT, then we found that the door cannot close, and then we said, okay, back to okay. So until now, a lot of people still forgot why we have that the law. Okay? Yeah. So in a IT context, computer context, then this is very well known. It's a botnet, right? We have called denial of services. You have and suppose NUS web server, a lot of requests coming from millions of machines outside NUS, sending requests to the NUS web server. So the web server crash, so that you cannot upload your report. Okay. For example, I'm not saying that you have to do you can do this. Okay. Okay. The deadline for the report is tomorrow. Okay. You have to upload to Luminous, right? But you haven't do it. Then what do? You conduct DDoS attacks. Okay. They send a lot and to the Luminous server. So the Luminous server cannot provide the service. Because if you cannot provide the service, then the deadline is changed. Okay, so this is classic denial of service attacks. Okay, to bring down the services. Okay. That's why attacks I warned students before cannot conduct on me is during the exam or midterm. Well, before we collect the question, the script, right? We started to ask question. Okay, ever ask question? Then I was busy running around, and I forget to correct the script. Okay. So this DDoS attack. Okay, yeah. So this is denial of service attacks. And denial of service is considered attack on availability. Right? So there are also many other requirements. Okay, when you read some books, they will say no, it's not 3 requirements, it's 7 requirements. Okay, and so on. Different experts will say different things. Okay, so when you read a book, just look at the context. Although we get too excited to say that this book says 3 and our book says 7. Okay, and some requirements we broadly, there are many other requirements that we broadly group under CIA. Okay, so there are confidentiality. Okay, what about anonymity? It's not anonymity about confidentiality. For example, if anonymity, everyone know what is Tor, right? Tor or the dark web. Okay, dark web. Okay, you want to visit a website, but you do not want to let this one is not dark web. Okay, if you want to visit a website, you don't want to let the website know who is visiting. You don't want to let him know the IP address, your IP address. Okay, so this is about anonymity. Okay, so is anonymity about confidentiality? Say okay, kind of yes, right? Okay, and convert channel. Okay, this like digital watermarking. We want to hide. Okay, the printer. Okay, when you print it out, okay, piece of paper coming out, right? And then let's say that I'm an employer, I'm paranoid. I'm very worried that people will leak out some of our design. So I will purchase some solution, okay, in the printer that embed invisible watermark. Okay, so when you print it out, the dot is arranged in a very special way. Okay, so from the way that the dot is arranged, I can derive the time and which machine print out this piece of paper. Okay, so later on, when I found a piece of paper somewhere, then I use microscope to look at it. See the arrangement. Ever heard of halftoning, right? You see a lot of gray scale in the printout. The laser printer actually cannot print gray dot. They can only print black and white. Okay, how do they get the gray dot? They print many dots in one place to look dark. Okay, some little bit and then become green. So it's called halftoning. Okay. So if you look at microscope, you can look at it. Okay, no microscope, I think most scanner you can see that dot already. Okay, so now based on the way you do it, then we can trace to the person who print out the paper. Okay, So if you take this as a requirement, is this about confidentiality? Okay, so this is called convert channel. Okay, you want to put some information in the table so that even the viewer, person who receives the information, the message does not aware that there are some hidden message. Okay, so and non-reputation, I will talk about it. That means that authenticity, this one I will talk about it, as well, etc. Right, okay. And a lot of time we want to compare two systems. Okay, two systems, I want to know which one is more secure. Okay, someone design a system, and one design a system. And then I will say system A is more secure than system B. Then how do we compare it? Okay, or how do we articulate or quantify the security of A and B? Okay, over B. One method to do it, okay, is to describe the attacks instead of describing what the security. Okay, you describe the attacks and analyze to say that this system can prevent these attacks. Okay, we describe some attacks, and now if system A can prevent these attacks, but system B cannot prevent these attacks, then A is more secure to B with respect to these attacks. Okay, fine. So it's easier way to compare system is actually to describe the attacks first and say which one can prevent the attacks. Okay, and how do we describe the attacks? When we describe attacks, state the attacker goal. The attack goal is to able to log in and modify this part. Okay, state the goal very clearly. Okay, and also state what the information or resources the attacker have in carry out the attacks. Okay, so these are called attack model. One way to demonstrate, right now it's just very fuzzy. One way to demonstrate this is when we talk about encryption scheme. That's why very often encryption scheme is the first few topics in the security course. Okay, we will do it later. Okay, talking about the attack model. Then it's important to understand security requirement and the attack it can prevent. Okay, what do you want to hit? What are you interested in, confidentiality, or are you interested in authenticity? Okay, because there are different mechanisms designed for different requirements. Okay, this is a very common mistake. Okay, is that someone choose the wrong mechanism for the problems. Okay, it is about authenticity, but he used a mechanism that protect confidentiality to do it. Okay, very often people will use encryption. Encryption only protect confidentiality. Okay, if the requirement is about integrity, then you cannot just use encryption alone. Okay, there will be example later. I think it's a tutorial question on this. Okay. So let me quickly finish this, then we take a 5 minutes break. Okay, so why difficult to be secure? Okay, there are many reasons. First one is that security, the most important one is security is not considered when we design the system. Okay, so imagine that you have a startup, you have a nice idea about games, online games, nice startup, then you want to write the system. Okay, you wrote the system, you get the system, then you launch it. What is your main consideration? Do you worry that someone will hack the system, break it, or no one play the games? Which one? Okay, first one, right? You're worried that no one play the games. You are not worried about at that stage, since you start up, you're not worried about people hack your system, right? Okay, so we are more worried about the usability and the functionality of your game. So you create a lot of function or whatever, and security is not the main concern. Okay, so that's why many systems, when first designed, is designed to have many functionality and then it's not secure. Not secure. Okay. So after that, they found that, oh, this system work, I want to carry on. Then they found that there are a lot of problems they need to patch. That's why it's become the problem. It's not only games that we see right now. Okay, design do not consider security. Many protocols we are using right now, like for example, the ARP protocol, the DNS protocol, or email protocol, SMTP protocol, when they design, they did not consider security. Okay, these are designed by experts. Why when they design it, they did not consider security? Because a lot of time this was designed 20 years or 30 years ago, before you are born. Okay, at that time, the thinking is different. It's about letting a lot of people use the system. Let's share the resources. Okay, when mobile phone, when the device come out, he broadcast to everyone. Hello everyone, I'm here. Please connect to me. Please connect to me. Okay, the thinking is like that. Okay, so and then the resources. We set up a email server. You welcome everyone to use it. Okay, if everyone can use it, they can spend email. Okay, so the thinking was like that last time. You say, why these people are not so stupid? They are not stupid, they are very smart. It's just that the mentality is like this. Okay, it's like this example I show. This one is that this is very funny. But last time they redo it, they send a satellite. Okay, the Pioneer program, they send a satellite spacecraft out of solar system, and then broadcast to everyone. And then there's a plate on the craft saying that, hey, we are here. Please visit me. Right. So in today's context, you see, why don't you do that? The alien probably is much smarter than us, right? You go to broadcast that we are here. You're inviting them to what? Come here, rob me. Okay. I have a lot of gold or something here. Yeah. So today content, no one will do this. Okay. But many years ago, 10, 20, 30 years ago, the idea is to share. Share. Okay. So many protocols that we design, ARP, DNS, even email SMTP protocol, they are not designed to be secure. And in fact, they are very welcoming people to connect. Okay. So there's no authentications. Okay. So this creates a lot of problems. Second one is it's very difficult to formulate security. Okay, because there are many ways of attacks that you did not think of when you design it. I will give an example of something called side channel attacks, which using the power consumed by a machine to guess the password, to guess the secret key. Okay, you want to instead of breaking the crypto or whatever, measure the power consumed by the device so that you can extract information and then later break it into it. Okay, so this is called side channel attack. At the point of design, you cannot thought that people will do this, right? Okay. And very difficult to design because system is very vulnerable. It's vulnerable at the weakest point. We have to cover all space. And this second last one is also very important. Okay, is implementation flaw. Okay, after the system is designed, even if designed securely, it has to be implemented by programmer like us. Okay, the programmer are not a scientist or something very it's any programmer. Okay, so very often there is bug. That's why we always have update. Okay, and it's very difficult to verify that it's implemented correctly. Also, not only very difficult to implement it, but if you have bug, it's very difficult to detect it. Okay, so this creates a lot of problems. Okay, and lastly, there is a human in the loop. There's a management issue. Okay. So when talking about implementation and bug and vulnerability, some of you may have heard of CVE. CVE is a common vulnerability and explosion. Okay, it's a database contain no vulnerability. I mentioned that there's a lot of bug. Okay, there's a lot of vulnerability in the system, and then someone nice enough to set up database where if you found a bug, you can report security bug. Okay, you report to this database, and then they will list it there and give numbers. So there will be number like CVE 20140160. Okay, so this is the CVE found in 2014. Okay, you can go to this website. Where is the website? I think I list it there. In this slide, I remove it. Okay, but in the uploaded one, there's a website. Right? I can go there to search for the CVE. Okay, and these are the vulnerability that is discovered and people report. Okay, there are many more bugs not discovered. Okay, and worse still, there are many bugs discovered by a small group of people. He don't tell people. He don't tell other people. Okay, there are bugs that is not discovered. There are many. Okay, but there are also bugs being discovered, but he keep it secret. He don't release. Don't tell the public. Okay, and why he don't want to tell it? Because when he later on he find way to exploit the bug, then he will launch the attacks. Okay, when he launch the attacks, no one know about it. No one know about it. This type of vulnerability is called zero-day vulnerabilities. Because why it's called zero-day? Well, it's not no one know about it. Okay, so we have 0 day to react. Right? Yeah. I also forgot to mention something important is that this bug all reported. Okay, then the system can be patched. That's why your system always update, right? Your system patch the bug. So now your system is secure against these attacks. Okay. But a lot of times, systems are not patched. A lot of times systems are not patched. But this system I believe is not patched regularly. Okay. Why? Because when you patch a system, some program may crash. That means you may have, I believe you may have this experience before. Oh, there's a PowerPoint update patch. Okay, you update it to patch some security, and later on, when you display your PowerPoint slide, well, then become something cannot display. Okay, so imagine that now I have a presentation to present to a minister. Okay, today. Okay, then the system is patched. Okay, 1 hour before that, now present it to the minister. The minister, wow, gone case. Okay. So when patching has to be done carefully. So many systems are not patched. Okay. So that's why many attacks we read from the news or whatever are attacks on known vulnerabilities. Okay, it's not new vulnerability. Okay, those hackers are not very smart. They did not find new vulnerability. They just make use of known vulnerabilities. Okay, so those that is not known to the public is called 0 day. 0 day. Okay? And 0 day vulnerability is not easy to get. Okay? And if you find it, you should report it. Or if you are not okay, you should not do that. Okay, there's another version you should not do it. You sell it. Okay? There are people buying 0 day vulnerabilities. Okay? So and $600,000 for the critical one. Okay. So in the website, you go to this website, they say very nicely, we are not doing attack, we want to do research on the high antivirus vulnerabilities. Okay. And those people also can trade in the dark web so that they will not be traced. Okay. So Heartbleed is listed as a one CVE. Heartbleed, we will talk about it later. And a significant portion of reported vulnerability is implementation error. You see, look at here. Okay, most of the vulnerability found is about implementation error. Okay, there's a bug in the program. Okay, there are some is the design and some is about configuration. That means the system is not configured properly. Okay, there's a trade-off of the security and the ease of use. Okay. You probably will know that when you use a system where it's more secure, it's much more difficult to use. Okay? Like if you have a mobile phone you want to protect your mobile phone using a password, then it's very difficult for you to open it up. Okay, so this is ease of you, trade-off of ease. Either you turn it off or you have it. You can use biometrics, but biometric is less secure compared to passwords. Okay. And it's also expensive to develop and consume more resources. Okay, there's a trade-off. And there's also a notion of threat, vulnerability, and control. Okay, threat is the circumstances that there's a potential cause, loss or harm. Okay, there's this machine here. Okay, this machine here. Okay, so this is a threat. Okay, because potentially someone may hack into this machine. But this machine, anyone can come to this room, do anything on it. Right, it's a potential threat. Okay. But do we have a vulnerabilities? Okay, so a vulnerability is that you have a threat, you may not have vulnerabilities. Okay, so this one have a vulnerabilities because anyone come in here, okay, they can press the start button. They can put in the USB so that the system boot from the USB. Okay, so this is a vulnerability. Okay, so there's a USB. You can put in USB, right? Then you press the start button, then you can boot from USB, then you can reconfigure the machine. Yeah. Control is to control the vulnerabilities. Okay. In this case, this indeed is a threat and this is a vulnerability. Then how do we control it? The desktop, the main unit is locked inside. Okay, so anyone coming here cannot open and change. Actually, there's a big hole. You can just, okay. So you may wonder why I use a laptop instead of using this machine. So previously I still use machine. It's not very hard. Okay. Anyone guess why I use a laptop instead of using this desktop to present? When I teach algorithm, which is non-security courses, I did use this one. Because if I want to use a desktop, okay, I have to log in. Okay, when I log in, I have to key my password. Okay, so potentially someone can come in here, okay, put something called keyboard locker. Okay, you put or that means that you take your keyboard, take it away. Okay, put something around here. Okay, to capture my keystroke. Okay, and then after that my password will be reviewed. Okay. So there's a threat. This one is a real threat. It's a real threat. If I'm teaching a security module, I have to at least exhibit to the class, right? I practice the right way of doing it. That's why I use my own laptop. Okay. When I teach the algorithm, I'm like, okay. This is a real threat. This is a real threat. Okay. In fact, it happened before. Okay. Some university, I think SMU. Okay. Still a password. Okay. But by using this, okay, there's a usability issue because this one is very nice. You have a thing for me to draw. This one I don't have. Okay, and I have to do a lot. Okay, there's a by doing this, I trade off the usability. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, so all you can read. Let's take a break. Okay, 5 minutes break, and then we continue. Maybe half an hour more. Okay, you can bring in anything, any printed material. Okay. Then the next question is, would the textbook, the reference books, useful for the exam? Okay. In my experience, it's not useful. Okay, for exam. For understanding, yes. For exam, it's no. Okay. For example, there's a term, then you have to flip. I don't think you have time to flip and find it. And okay. And there's some indication that the exam is overbooked. I think most of you will know. You have to print out the lecture notes, okay, in the end, to bring it into a lecture hall, examination hall. Okay. So okay, let's start the lecture proper. So the first class is on encryptions, and we are basically talk about definition and a requirement and some pitfall. We will not finish it for today, probably only less than half of it, and we'll continue next week. So what is encryptions? Okay. Encryptions consists of two programs or two algorithms. One is encrypt, one is decrypt. so the encryptions taking something what we call plain text. This I will try to find a mouse. Okay, the plain text, which is the message. For example, the video. There's a video JPEG file or movie file, and run the algorithm encrypt and give a ciphertext. Okay, so when you visually look at a ciphertext, they look like random bits. So in Chinese, they call this Ranma, right? Random bits. So if the encryption scheme is good, this part should look like a random bits to the person. The decryption algorithm taking this ciphertext and the key, decrypt it and get back to the plain text. Okay, there's a secret key, there's a key, there's a ciphertext, plain text. Okay, and it's important, or it's a main requirement that this and this must be the same. Okay, you encrypt something, after you decrypt it, you must get back the same thing. Okay, so this is the correctness of the encryption scheme. Okay. The more important requirement is the security of the encryption scheme. Okay, what do I mean by secure? Right? Okay, security. Roughly, the security will be this. If from here, from the ciphertext, if an attacker get hold of the ciphertext, if he doesn't know the secret, the key, okay, if someone get hold of this, if he doesn't know this, okay, this one will look like random. Okay. The fact is, this is not random. These are not randomly generated. This is a video file encrypted using a short key. Okay, so this thing is not random. But for someone who doesn't know the key, it looks random. Fine? Okay, so this is there's a very deep fundamental issue in just what I said, but never mind, roughly you see it's there. Okay, to someone who doesn't know the key, this looks random. Okay, okay. And there are many refined formulation of it. We will not talk about it in this module. Okay, if you do crypto, we were talking about indistinguishability. Basically, what it means is that to a person have no knowledge of the secret key, this part cannot be distinguished from a truly random sequence. Okay, so roughly this is a requirement. Roughly. Okay. There is a simple application scenario just described in case you have not seen used encryption scheme before. Some of you probably have used WinZip before, right? You want to zip a file. Okay. When you zip a file, you can choose whether you want to put in a password. Okay. So there is a password. There's a password. Okay, secret password, which I'm trying to find the mouse. Oh my god. Okay. There's a password, which is a secret key. Okay. For the password, they do something, expanding or whatever, it becomes a secret key, and then take the plain text, encrypt it, till you get a ciphertext. After you get a ciphertext, suppose this is a WinZip, a movie file, you encrypt it and send it to your friends. Or later you want to open it. To open it, then you need the secret key, which is the password. Okay, then you can get back the text. Okay, in this example, when Alice encrypt it using the password and then send to Bob, Bob decrypt it. One part very important here is that Alice must somehow able to secretly send the key to Bob. Okay, fine. Then you will ask, so stupid. You already have a method to send something securely to Bob. Then why not you just send the movie over, right? Just send the movie over. I already have a method to send the key. Alice have a method to send the key to Bob, right? Securely. Okay. Then why not just send the movie over? Okay. The difference is a movie is 7 gigabytes. The key is 128 bits. Okay. So it's important. So this key is short. Okay. Key is short. Fine. Okay. Then encryption is what we call cryptography. Okay, cryptography is a study of how do we hide things, and the actual technical term is cryptography actually. Okay, cryptography. Cryptography is to hide. There's something called cryptanalysis is to attack. Okay, you add these two together become cryptology. Okay. But anyway, most of the time we use the word cryptography. Okay. In the cryptography, in the basic setting, we consider 3 persons. Okay, there's a Alice, there's a Bob, and there's someone who listens to the communication. Okay, Alice has some message. Just now, example is a movie file you want to send to Bob, and the channel that sent over, if maybe able to hear eavesdrop. Okay, so Alice want to protect the information, the confidentiality of the movie. So what Alice do? He will encrypt it, send it to Bob. Whatever Eve get is just the encrypted version. Okay. So very often we call these 3 persons Alice, Bob, and Eve. Okay, and there is Mallory over here. Eve can only listen, or eavesdrop. Eve cannot modify the message. Okay, there's cases where there's attacker here. Not only he can intercept what we call sniff. He can also make modification from of the data, flip a bit, for example. Okay, so that is called malicious. Then for that person we call it Mallory. Okay, and there's one guy is called Randy. There's also a Randy. Randy, any Randy here? Sorry. Okay, Randy is a person who randomly act. Just always say random numbers. Well, D, then we are Dave. Okay. Okay, it's also very important to note that Alice may not be a human, right? Alice is a computer. We say Alice sends something to Bob. Doesn't mean the user has to send the value key. It's the computer that sends. Okay. So I take the remaining of 15 minutes to say something very simple. Okay, some classical cipher. Cipher is also a encryption scheme. Okay, a classical cipher cannot be used. Okay, it's not secure. It's used by the Roman, okay, Caesar or whoever. Okay, 2,000 years ago. Okay, they're not secure. But when you like Harry Potter, Da Vinci Code, they use it like actually it's very secure. Okay, so they appear very often in Harry Potter. I think Da Vinci Code and all this. Okay, there are 2 of them. We'll cover 3: substitution, permutation, and one-time text. Okay. Substitution cipher is very simple. Okay, you probably see this in Harry Potter. Okay. Just give a simple examples. This is a plain text. Hello world. Okay. To encrypt it, we have a key. The key is this table. This is a key table. Then we just do a substitution. H come to H, H. E is here, N, and so on. Okay, clear, right? Okay, this is substitution cipher. In substitution cipher, this is called the plain text, this is called the ciphertext, this is called the key. The key. Okay, yeah. So now, okay, we want to attack it. Suppose I attack it. There are different way, different attack model. Okay. So one way to attack it, okay, is let me give us a precise one first called no plain text attacks. Okay, is suppose the attacker have no plain text and the corresponding ciphertext like this one. Okay, attacker, you are the attacker, you know that there's a plain text, this, and then you know the ciphertext is this. Okay, you get these two information. And your goal is to find the key. Your goal is to find the key. Okay, how do you find the key? Okay, I'm going to say a method is very stupid. You immediately know that it's a stupid method. It's called exhaustive search.
Brute force try everyone, right?
Yeah, brute force try everything. Okay, it's a very stupid method. Okay, how do I find the key? Okay, look at the table. Okay, how many tables can I have? This table, okay, this is a table, right? Okay. I'm the attacker, you are the attacker. Okay, you get this, and get this. You want to find the key. Okay, you try all possible key. Try all possible key. For all possible key, you try to encrypt this or try to decrypt this and see whether you get back the same plain text. Fine? Okay, this should work. Okay, you take you have the plain text, ciphertext, then you try all possible key. Okay, you get this key, decrypt, see match or not. Okay, and so on. Okay, you do this algorithm. Okay, this algorithm. Fine? Okay. Just for I1, okay. Then you know that it's very, very slow. Okay, it depends on the key space is large. Do some mathematics, you know the number of possible key is 27 factorial. Okay, 27 factorial, which is a large number. And you take a log base 2 of it, that is 94. Okay, you take a log base 2 of 27 factorial, that's 94. Okay, that means that every table, if you want to represent the key using as short as possible, you require 94 bit, at least 94 bit to describe a key. Okay, right? This is a binary number, right? Binary representation, right? For binary representation, you want to describe a key, you need to have at least 94 bits. 94 bits. So we say the key length is 94 bits. The key space is 27 factorial. It's very slow. Okay, it will not work. But of course, most of you know that, okay, what's so stupid? Okay, you see in Harry Potter, you see in Da Vinci Code. Okay, there's a smart way of doing it. This one is so trivial. H, then you can construct the table. you already know it. Okay. So in this attacks, attacker know the plain text. Attacker know the corresponding ciphertext. He want to derive the key. Okay. So this attacks the information. Attacker has more information. So we call this known plain text attacks. Okay. So under known plain text attacks, suppose attacker know a plain text and the key and the ciphertext. Can he get the key? Yes. Okay. Yes. So substitution cipher is not secure against known plain text attacks. Right? This is assuming that he have a plain text and a corresponding ciphertext. Fine. So you can do better than exhaustive search. Okay. Next one. Suppose the attacker doesn't have the plain text, doesn't have no plain text. He only received the ciphertext only. He only get a ciphertext, and he tried to find the plain text. Okay, you have a ciphertext. He tried to find the plain text. Okay, and he indeed has some additional information. He knows that the plain text is an English sentence. It's an English sentence, right? Okay, so this is a known plain text, called ciphertext only attacks. So if you know that this is an English sentence, can we carry out exhaustive search? Yes. Okay, how do we carry out exhaustive search? Try all possible key. Decrypt it. After decrypt it, check whether it is an English sentence. How do I check whether it is an English sentence? Check whether it forms words and the words appear in the English dictionary. Right. So okay. So you can do an exhaustive search. Okay, for the ciphertext only. Okay. But this is very slow. Very slow. Okay. So now the question is this. Is there a faster way of doing it? Okay, the no plain text attacks very simple. You know straight away, you know that there's a faster way, right? So now if I give you a no plain only ciphertext only, encrypted using a substitution cipher, and the number of characters is around 20 to 30. Okay, string, okay, pass it to you. Were you able to figure out the plain text? Okay. The answer actually is yes. Yes, okay, that is the next slide. Okay, and that means that you look at this particular example. If you want to guess, you see that there's two L here. There's two L here. Okay, two L here. In English sentence, do we have AA? Seldom, right? We seldom have HH. ZZ maybe, some of you maybe ZZ now. Okay, yeah. So the number of possibility is very little. Okay, so you make a guess. Okay, maybe it's L. Okay, let's put it L. Then you check. Look at this. Okay, you put L, then you get this field right, and now you found that Q appear 2 times. Okay, so Q probably is a more popular words like letter like E or O or something like that. Okay, you keep trying, then you'll get it. Okay, this is called frequency and text. Okay, so look at the frequency of the letter we are using, trying to guess. And more interesting or surprising one is that you know that for this one is very short, it's very difficult to guess, right? Right, this one is so short, and sometimes after you get 2L, you may not be able to get the rest. Okay, then you have to guess. There's one TV show, right? Okay, you want to guess. What's that show called? Forgot already. The letter 333 or something. Yeah. So you do that, but if it's too short, it's very difficult. Okay, it's longer, it will be very easier. Okay, now how long is sufficient? Usually, how long is sufficient? Okay. It turned out that 20 or 30 is sufficient. Okay. Previously, I always give this as a quiz for bonus mark. I show something about 20 characters and ask the student to check. The first student who get this will get a free coffee or something like that. Okay. Then immediately, okay, student will get it. Okay. I do this a few times. It's very fun. After that, students know about it. Before they come to lecture, they install a program. So become who has a faster finger. So now I don't have it already. But you can even download a program to do that. Okay, yeah. If you wrote a program, it's fine, but it's downloaded. So become who is fastest. Okay. So 30 characters is sufficient already. Okay, this is quite surprising, right? 20, 30 characters. Okay. I put it in a substitution cipher. You can break easily break. Okay. So this is a substitution cipher. And okay, just now I talked about no plain text attacks. Okay, no plain text attacks means that you know the plain text and the ciphertext, then you attack. Okay, so some may say that this is not fair. Why the attacker can have a no plain text, right? The attacker may always have to start from ciphertext. No, for security, we have to consider all scenario. Okay, in particular. In practice, very often, attacker able to get some no plain text. For example, when he knows that this is encryption of an email, then the first field will be the word from or subject. Or some of you probably know that the network is about packets sending, right? There's something called packet header. the packet header had to follow some format, and the first field usually is fixed. Fixed. Okay, there are many fixed value. So attacker did know the sum of the plain text before when he receives the ciphertext. So known plain text is a practical consideration. That means attacker do have plain text. In World War II, example is weather, nothing to report. Okay, intercept something, they know that it's nothing to report. Okay, or even cases where the American in the Pearl Harbor case, they trick the Japanese to send something about a particular phrase. Okay, so then they intercept, then they match, they get the key because they know the plain text. Okay, so no plain text is have to be considered, and in fact, all modern encryption scheme is designed to be secure against no plain text. Okay, more modern one. Okay, right. The second one is a permutation cipher. Okay, permutation cipher, I call it Mahjong cipher. The Chinese New Year is coming for a student from exchange student. Please join us in our activities playing Mahjong. Okay. Okay, Mahjong cipher. So this is a plain text. Okay. This is a plain text. This is a ciphertext. The ciphertext obtained from the plain text by playing Mahjong. Okay. This one goes there. Okay. This one go there. This one go there. So. Okay. So this, and now what is the key? The key is which position go to next position. That is the secret key. Okay. So this is called permutation cipher. Okay. If you are more mathematically inclined, okay, you can see that we can write the plain text and the ciphertext, the relationship, as a matrix multiplication. Okay, that means that you put the plain text here, okay, and then you multiply by a matrix, then you get this. Okay, you imagine this one is a number. Okay, the matrix is considered of 1 and 0. Okay, so substitution cipher is a special case of what we call Hill cipher, which practically do this. That means that you take the plain text, multiply by a matrix, then you get the ciphertext. The matrix is the secret key. Okay. So okay, I do not go into detail, but this is also not secure against no plain text attacks trivia. It's also not secure against ciphertext. Only attacks. Fine. So quite interesting to talk about this too. The modern cipher, okay. Okay, when something is not secure, okay, one knee-jerk reaction is this. Okay, you know that there's protection mechanism not secure. Let's say encryption not secure. Then a knee-jerk reaction to make it more secure is to what? To do it twice. Okay, your door, you put a one padlock. Not so secure. Then what do? Put two lock, right? Okay. So now. Okay, I say that all this not secure, permutation cipher not secure, substitution not secure, permutation not secure. And so not secure, what do? You encrypt it twice. Okay, you have a plain text, secret key, permute it, then you have another key, do it one more time. Okay, do it 3 times. So you do it 3 times. If you do it 3 times, then do you feel more secure? Okay, maybe you feel, but it's not. Right. Why? Because you can see that if you do a permutation once, and then you do another permutation, and do a third permutation, all this composite together is equivalent to one permutation. Okay, so it's not. Okay, you do it 3 times as good as doing once. Okay. Substitution cipher. Oh, not secure. Do it twice. Okay, or do it time. Substitute 1 time, okay, substitute 1 more time, substitute 1 more time, substitute 1 more time. Okay. But very fast, you look at it, you do 2 substitution is equivalent to doing 1 substitution table. values now. Okay, so back to square one. Okay. Not as secure. But now, suppose you do this. You do a permutation, substitution, permutation, substitution, permutation, substitution, permutation, substitution. Let's say 5 times. Okay, is it more secure or will it equivalent to one substitution, permutation? Okay. So for this, it turned out that people believe that it will be more secure. Okay, you do one permutation. Okay, this one I not believe. You do one permutation, one substitution. You do it 5 times. It's different from 4 times. Okay, this one we know. Okay, and now a lot of people believe that this is a secure way of doing things. And in fact, most modern cipher, like what you see, like AES, if you have heard of it, DES, they use this method. They do it 64 times. Okay, I think AES is 64 times, 64 round. Permutation 7. Okay, yeah. Five more minutes so that I finish this. I'm pressing the wrong key. There's one cipher, okay, which is called one-time pad, very simple, I think more like telling story, okay, which is a classical, in fact someone, I think invented a few hundred years ago, I don't remember, okay, 100 years ago, okay. This one turned out to be secure, and then it can be proven to be unbreakable. Okay, one-time pad. Okay, very simple, what is one-time pad? For this, you have to know what is an XOR. Some of you may not know. XOR is a take 0, 0, 0 XOR 0 get 0, 0, 1 you XOR you get 1, 1 XOR 1. Okay, so this is the operation of XOR. Okay, and it has some property listed there. Okay, the encryption is very simple. Okay, you have a plain text. We have a plain text. Oh, sorry. This is a plain text. It's all binary. Okay. The key is also binary. The key is this one. Okay. To encrypt, we XOR, then pairwise. 0 and 1 get 1. 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. Encryption, you take this and this XOR give you this. Take this encryption. Fine? So we have a plain text, ciphertext, and a key. What about decryption? Decryption, you just take the ciphertext, okay, XOR with a key, you will turn out go back to the plain text. This is just a mathematical property of XOR. So you encrypt it, XOR K, you encrypt it. If you want to decrypt it, XOR K one more times, then don't know by what property you can put the bracket here. Then K, then there's name, I don't know what's the name. K XOR K is always 0. K is always 0. Look at the table. K is 0. Then X XOR 0 is always X. Okay, fine. So this is a very simple scheme. Okay, and later on, I think maybe next week I'll talk about it. This one can be shown to be unbreakable. Okay, unbreakable. Okay, but now, why do we need to invent other encryption scheme? I know unbreakable, the best one. Okay, the reason is what? The length of the key is the same size of the length of the plain text. To encrypt a 7 GB movie, you need a 7 GB keys. Alright, so Alice encrypt it. Alice had to tell Bob the key. Alice tell Bob, here is a 7 GB keys. Then Alice send the ciphertext to 7 GB. Then Bob can decrypt. He sent 40 gigabytes. Since Alice can send 7 GB to Bob already, why not he just directly send the movie, right? So not practical. Okay. But it's practical practical in one scenario. One scenario. What is a scenario? There is a commando here. I want to send him to the behind the enemy line. When you go behind the enemy line, he takes some pictures, then encrypt it using the laptop, press send, the data send. Okay, then the commando will run. Okay, so because it's send, people can detect the position, they will bombard him, right? Okay. Yeah. So now in this case, we can do this. You take the key, 7 GB keys, as a USB, pass it to the commando. Okay. Then when he go over there, he plug it in, then do an XOR send, and perfectly secure. Huh? Okay. So such scenario do occur, and it actually happened in the World War II also. Okay, where this one is a one-time act. Okay, the diplomat or the spies will go to another country carrying this secret key. Okay, and give me 2 more minutes to tell the story. Okay, so this one particular interesting example is is between Soviet Union and US. Soviet Union has an embassy in the US, right? Then at the time they already have telegram. Messages can send over the air. Okay, so then it had to be encrypted. So how is it encrypted? They encrypted using one-time pact. Okay, the one-time pact is carried by the diplomat. They carry over using one-time pact. And right before World War II break up, there's a lot of information to be shared. So the Moscow, the Soviet embassy in the US, run out of the one-time pact. Okay, they don't know. Oh, so many messages. They run out. So when you run out, what do? Reuse. Reuse. Okay, reuse in a smart way. They reuse in a smart way, but unfortunately, US side found that they reuse it. Okay, but in a smart way. So then they try to break it. They know that reuse can be broken. Then they don't have computer. So what do they get? They get human computer. So they get a lot of people over here, high school teacher, to be a computer, okay, to break. Okay, they are all female. Why? The guys prepare for war. I'm not joking. This is real. Because all the guys are people. So all the a lot of them is high school teachers. Okay, they go there, math teacher. Okay, and then this is called Venona story. Okay, take a look. And then we'll see you next week. Okay, we'll go into more details.